Hi, this is Oscar. Today I'm going to talk about tuple. Tuple is a select array list, or same thing that's going to be. So each individual here we have a tuple of 11 elements. They have index from 0 to, in this case we have 10 elements in that one, and then each element and each one they called index, and how we are able to access it. The difference between the tuple and the list that we mentioned before, the list was bracket and tuple is parentheses. Tuple is not changeable. You cannot change the data or element in the tuple, and there are going to be that. Let me show you how we are going to do that. So we can duplicate that, but change, we cannot change that. If I have the first element here is blue, all of time stay green, or the second one is I'm sorry, blue or green, stay right there. Okay, let me tell you how we are going to start a tuple. Same thing, we are going to do that. Let me go to Python, and same thing right now, cars, we are going to do that. And this is a variable that I assign a tuple to that, start with parentheses, and again same thing, if it's here it is the fourth, and the next element that I want to do it is within GM, so I put GM, and we are able to same thing do it. If you want to have the first element of this tuple, so I will say that cars, and again with the index 0, and then let me start to run it. So I got it. So it's the same thing as we did before, but between list was a bracket. Here is going to be parentheses. The one thing that I have to make sure, if I want to add fourth, is that if I want to change the fourth, let me do this one. Let me right now say cars, and then here's I say Chevy, and then I print this one that I want to do that. I'm able to ask the length of that one. If I ask this, I'm able to use the method, and I say the print for me the length. I use the length method of cars, and it print out how many elements there are going to be, 0, 1, 2, 3. So the length of that one 3. I'm able to have create only one items, or make it empty. I'm able to do that. If I just put before, can be integer, can be string, can be boolean, can be float. So it doesn't make any difference what we are putting down as far as if it's integer we are not having, if it's string but we have to do it. Actually we are able to use to ask them what type of the, here if I say print for me, I use the type, again type, and this method I use it tell me what's method, what type is it. It tell me what type is it. It's type of tuple, it tell me. So, and if I, let me create, for example, here, that's very important. I say car, and this time is another variable, but let me have this again, all this one stay here. So in this case, here's, let me ask to print what type of the variable. The cars is, here is a car hold. See this, the second one, the car hold the least, and the first one, because parentheses hold, I'm able to exchange or change the value of the second one of first element, what element I am able to change it, but on the tuple I'm not able to change it. Then, and let me add more to this tuple. Okay, Let me have, I have Chevy here, and then I have the Ford, then I have car here, and let me have one more Nissan here. Okay, what I want to do here, I want to say that how I'm able to access. I'm able to access from this side here, from start 0, go all the way back. But we are able to go backward too. I'm able to, if I put the -0, I said -1, start from here. Let me show you how does it work. So if I tell right now, just print out for me, print from this list the cars, but I'm going to say that cars, but I'm going to say that let me get the number 2. Let me see what is going to print for me. Number 2 is going to be, this is going to be number 1, -1, -2 is going to do that. If I go -3, so I'm able to use it, I'm able to use the reverse section of that one, do that. And then one thing else that I can do here is we have the range that we are talking about. We are able to use the range of one. I'm going to say that, okay, print from 1 to 3. This is the range that I'm going to use, that from 1 to 3. 0, 1 is GM, and 2, 3 is going to be here, right here. So I'm able to use the range that we want to do it. Then again, if I don't put anything right here, if just I put 0 or no number, is going to give me everything from 0 to index 4. Show me. And I can check, see if there is anything. Same thing that we use it for the list. Here's this. I can see if there is. Let me go check it. Said if GM in cars and or no. So I'm able to use if a statement to make sure if there is an item in the tuple or not in the tuple. So then if I want to update one, if I want to add a list to that one, so let me show you how I'm able to do that. For any reason, let me take this if out. For any reason, I want to change the value of this one of these tuple. As I said, we are not able to change it. The only thing that we are able to do it, let me take these guys out too. The only way that I can change it, I change this tuple to the list. So how I'm going to do that? I create another variable, for example, like a car, and then I assign the cars, which was the list. Here I had it, I just put it as a list, and the cars right there. Okay, and then I'm able to, in this variable, I'm able to, I can say let the index of 1, let me add a value to it. Let me say value, and then let me say then I be able to put as a tuple. Let me put the X with the same thing that we had, cars, and then what we have say tuple, yeah, and then here car, I put a car here, and let me print it, see how does it work. Okay, what happened here, See, I want to add, as I said, we are not able to add any elements to this tuple. The only way that I am able to change this tuple list to this tuple to a list. So I assign a variable here, that is the list that I have cars. Then the element 1, 0, 1, I want to add one element to it. So what I did, I changed the value of the GM here to BMW, and then I was able to do that. So I'm able, the only way that I'll be able to do that, change it from tuple to list and update the list. What if I want to add the same thing to, as you know, let me see that if I want to add the same thing, so I have to do the same thing but append on that one. So if I want to add, let me show you the same thing. I have to or you know, what we have to do it. So we have this list, and on this list I want to append a value for it. So what I'm going to do, let me instead here, I do anything that here do, but here in this case what I can do is, let me go to the same thing, car, and I can say append, and let me add here another item to it. Let me add here Honda. Here, and let me print it out. How does it work? See, the Honda is going to be, you know, when we append it, it's going to be to the end of the so I were able to change and say which position I want to have it, or append it. It's going to add to the end of the tuple, but again I have to change this tuple to a list and convert it back again. Okay, so I'm able to append an item to the tuple with append, but I have to change it to list, and after that change it to append. There is one more way that I can do it. I can again create another tuple and add that tuple to the previous one. I create another tuple that's car. This is a variable which has a tuple parentheses, and let me add a value to this one. Let me in this series, let me see it already. Okay, so what I want to do it, I want to add this one to previously. Let me go behind this one. So I will say that cars, and I can say, I can do it short, and then I say that car to it. See how does it work. It's not changeable, so we cannot remove anything, or we can change anything or add anything. But if you want to remove an item from tuple, we can again do the same thing, change tuple to the list and use the method of the remove and do the same thing. So we change here the cars, and then we change the cars as a, you know, as a list here, and then we add the item or append item. So at this position, for example, I want just forget about this item, I don't need this one. Let me do this, let me keep the same thing. Here it is, then I will say the remove. Let me say car, and then I remove. But I want to remove Chevy out of this one. I want to make a mistake. I'll copy this one, paste it here, and remove it. So same thing I did here, top of the cars, and let me do it. So at this point I remove that. So I had to change that again to add or remove. We change tuple to the list, and we'll be able to do that. or we are able to delete whole thing that is, able to use the delete one. We have something they call pack and unpack. Actually, when we create a tuple, we put to the pack we are doing here. The cars is pack. We are able to unpack it. Let me do the number of the here. Make it as short possible. And what I want to do, I want to unpack. This is pack. I want to unpack it and assign it this to variable. Let me delete. Now I wanted to unpack that one. So how I'm able to do that? I am able to, what we are able to do it, just put anything that I want to put it, that's fine. So I can say A, B, and B, and then and unpack the cars value to it, and then I'll be able to print A here, and here it is, or able to print V here. That's going to be, so same thing. That's a when we create a tuple, we pack it. When we want unpack it, we are able to assign every variable of this one to new one to unpack to different variable at this location. We are able to go through the loop, same thing that we want to do, that we want to loop it. We are able to use same for loop. Let me create this one for Z in cars, then print Z actually. So it should print all the value here. That is, we are looping through so this is, I'm pretty sure there are so many other be able to use it. You are able to get the length of that. You are able to range that we had it. Those method that we had, we are able to use the while loop through that one and checks how many item is right there. Let me show you how does it work. For example, while loop. Here it is. I have this car, and I want to start from 0. So I have I asset and I assign this one to 0, and I said while the variable I is less than, I want to make sure what length is cars, which I know that, for example, is here 3. Then I will able to print it. The cars that I have, and then I as an index. And each time I'm able to add to the I 1 to it. So I can say I is I plus 1. And let me do it here. What happened? Forward 1. I can print out the I to make sure that you know that where we are actually to print I before that one. So it gives you I start from index 0, 1, 2 and comes to this one. So that's a while loop that I'm able to do it. Yeah, just there are some more method that you can use it. As I said, length, you can have it. So hopefully you understand how the tuple works. So different between tuple and the list. What was that? So please do some more work on the tuple and the list. See you for next session.